Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Hello and welcome to Connecting the Dots. I'm Alex.
And I'm Morgan. We're part of the team here at Snarful Solutions Group in Sacramento, California.
Thanks for tuning in. Today is Tuesday, June 17th, 2025.
And if you're here in Sacramento with us, hope you're staying cool. It's looking sunny out there, heading for a high of about 93 degrees Fahrenheit today.
Definitely warm. Quick look at the markets before we jump in. The Dow Jones closed yesterday at 42,394.79.
And the S&P 500 finished the day at 6,006.71. So some movement there.
All right, so today we're diving into our internal Snarful Tech article report. We've picked out the top 3 tech stories that caught our eye.
Yeah, and our goal, as always, is to break them down, figure out what's really going on, and, connect the dots to see how this stuff might actually affect your everyday life.
Exactly. Let's get started with the first big one. It's about Adobe. Seems like they're making a pretty significant move in the AI space, specifically on mobile.
Right. They've just launched the Adobe Firefly mobile app. It's out now for both iOS and Android devices.
Okay, Firefly, that's their generative AI suite, right?
Yeah.
The stuff like generative fill, where you can type to edit images.
Precisely. It includes tools like generative fill, generative expand, basically letting you add, remove, or replace things in photos, or even realistically extend the background, all just using text prompts. Pretty powerful stuff.
And now that's on your phone.
Yep, right in your pocket. The app itself is a free download. Adobe's really pushing for convenience here, making those web features available in a, mobile-friendly way.
So you can tinker with projects or make quick edits wherever you are.
Exactly. And importantly, anything you start on the mobile app syncs up with your Adobe Creative Cloud account.
Ah, okay. So you could start an idea on the train and then finish it up later on your desktop.
That's the idea. It makes Firefly feel much more integrated with their other mobile tools like Lightroom or Adobe Express. You get that continuity.
Makes sense. And it had those key features like generative fill, generative expand.
Mm-hmm. Those are definitely highlights. Plus, you can also generate entirely new images or even short video clips just from text prompts using their latest Firefly AI models.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting based on the report. Adobe isn't just using its own AI models in Firefly anymore.
No, and this is a big shift. They're still using their own models like Image Model 4 and Ultra, but they're opening up Firefly to host models from other AI companies too.
Oh, wow. Like who?
Well, some major players. They've partnered with OpenAI, Google bringing in Imagen 3 and 4 for images, and Veo 2 and 3 for video. Also Black Forest Labs, Ideogram, Luma AI, Pika, Runway. It's quite a list.
That's a lot of different AI engines under one roof.
Huh?
What's the benefit for the user?
Flexibility, mainly. You get this huge ecosystem of different AI models to choose from, all within the same Firefly interface. Maybe one model is better for photorealism, another for artistic styles, another for video.
So you can pick the right tool for the job.
Exactly. Adobe's VP of Generative AI, Alexandra Costin, was quoted saying they want it to be the ultimate one-stop shop for creative experimentation. His words. Letting you explore different models, styles, media types, all in one place.
That's actually pretty smart, giving creators more options without having to jump between different apps or platforms.
Right. And Costin emphasized that adding more partner models gives creators even more flexibility to experiment, iterate, and push their ideas further.
And they're still including those content credentials, the metadata saying AI was used.
Yep, that's crucial. Regardless of which model you use Adobe's or a partner's for, the output will include that metadata for transparency.
Good to know. What about cost? Is the app free?
The download is free, yeah. But using the AI features burns through what they call generative credits. They have different membership tiers, free, standard, pro, premium, that give you a certain number of credits each month.
So you can try it out for free, but heavy use will require a subscription.
Pretty much. The free plan lets you test the waters.
Gotcha. The report also mentioned something called Firefly Boards. What's that about?
Ah, yes. That's a newer platform, more focused on collaborative brainstorming. Think mood boards or storyboards, but AI-powered.
Okay.
And now they've added video generation to boards. You can apparently remix video clips or generate new ones using models from Adobe, Google, Luma AI, or Pika right within your board.
Interesting. For ideation.
Yeah, and you can also do AI edits on images in the boards using text prompts, tapping into models from FluxPot One Context or OpenAI. Costin called it like an AI-powered creative jam session.
A creative jam session. I like that. Okay, so let's connect the dots here. What does this Adobe news mean for you, the listener?
Well, fundamentally, it means incredibly powerful AI creative tools are now super accessible right on your phone.
Like, imagine needing to resize a photo for Instagram quickly. Generative Expand could probably do that in seconds. Right. Or removing that annoying sign from the background of a vacation pic while you're still, on vacation.
Exactly. We're just playing around with AI image generation when you have an idea wherever you are. It really simplifies and speeds up creating visuals, whether it's for personal stuff or even small business marketing.
It does feel like another step towards making complex tech really easy to use, almost like that Star Trek replicator idea, but for images and videos on your phone.
It's getting closer. Okay, let's shift gears to our second story. This one's about how we watch TV.
Ah, yes. The streaming takeover. The report highlights a pretty major milestone from Nielsen data.
It is a big one. For the very first time in May 2025, Americans actually spent more time watching streaming platforms than they did watching traditional cable and broadcast TV combined.
Combined? Wow. So streaming didn't just beat cable. It beat cable plus channels like NBC, CBS, ABC.
That's right, aggregated. We knew this was coming, with everyone cutting the cord, but this is the official confirmation that streaming is now the dominant way people watch TV.
It's quite a shift. I remember seeing reports maybe a couple of years ago where streaming passed broadcast, but not both together.
Exactly. The report mentioned July 2022 data for context. Back then, streaming had about 34.8% share, just edging out cable at 34.4%, while broadcast was down at 21.6%.
So in less than 3 years, it's gone from just beating cable to beating both combined. That's fast.
It really is. And the volume is huge. Even back in July 2022, folks were watching, nearly 191 billion minutes of streamed content every week.
Incredible. Now, here's a part of the report I found really interesting. A big driver of this recent surge is older viewers.
Yeah, the 65-plus demographic, they are apparently the fastest growing age group for streaming adoption right now, especially free services.
Really? Free services?
Mm-hmm. Their time spent watching YouTube, specifically on a TV screen, jumped 106% between May 2023 and May 2025. It's now apparently equal to the time kids under 11 spend watching YouTube on TV.
Wow. Okay, that explains why those free ad-supported streaming services, fast channels they call them, are doing so well.
Totally. Services like Tubi, Roku Channel, Pluto TV. The report said those three combined accounted for 5.7% of all TV time in May 2025. That's more than Disney Plus and Hulu put together.
More than Disney Plus and Hulu combined.
Yep. And Nielsen's Brian Feurer had a quote about why older viewers might like these free platforms. He suggested the ads aren't really jarring for them because, they grew up with ads on traditional TV.
That makes sense. It's a familiar experience.
Right. He even mentioned that a classic show like Gunsmoke regularly pops up on streaming charts now because that audience is finding it on these free platforms.
Meanwhile, traditional cable continues to slide, down 39% overall in the last 4 years, the report said.
And you have to figure, the media companies themselves kind of push this along, right? By putting all their best new shows and movies onto their own streaming platforms instead of their cable channels.
Good point. They sort of cannibalized their own cable business to boost streaming. Looking back again at those July 2022 numbers, Netflix and YouTube were leading then.
Yeah, Netflix had 8% share, YouTube 7.3%, then Hulu, Prime Video, mostly driven by big original hits like Stranger Things back then.
But the report also notes that while streaming is dominant now, the super fast growth might be slowing down a bit.
Yeah.
It mentions things like Netflix losing subscribers back in 2022, changes at HBO Max, Disney lowering forecasts.
Right. The market is definitely maturing. It's not the Wild West it was a few years ago. There's consolidation, strategy shifts.
Yeah.
It's evolving.
So connecting this one to the listener, what's the takeaway for you?
Well, your own TV habits are clearly part of this huge trend. Whether you've cut the cord entirely, or you juggle multiple subscriptions, or maybe you lean on those free services, you're living this shift.
And it impacts what gets made, right? More shows designed for binge watching, different kinds of stories maybe. And it definitely highlights the appeal of free options as those subscription bills stack up.
Absolutely. You've got more choice than ever, which is great, but navigating it all can be a bit overwhelming sometimes. Bottom line is, streaming isn't just part of the TV landscape anymore, it is the landscape.
Okay, on to our third story. This one takes us into the nitty-gritty of AI models themselves. A new player from China.
Yeah, a startup called MiniMax. They've released a new large language model called MiniMax M1, and it's causing a bit of a stir.
Why is that? What's special about M1?
A few things. First, it's designed specifically for complex productivity tasks. Second, and this is key, it's open source.
Open source, meaning?
Meaning they've released the model's code and weights, essentially, under a permissive license, Apache 2.0 in this case. So developers and companies anywhere can download it, use it, modify it, build products on top of it, even commercially, without paying MiniMax. It's out there on places like Hugging Face and GitHub.
Okay, that's significant. What else stands out?
Its context window. The report says M1 supports a 1 million token input context window.
1 million tokens. Can you remind us what that means in simple terms?
Sure. Tokens are like the basic units of text. The AI processes words, parts of words, punctuation. The context window is how much information the AI can hold in its head at one time to understand the request and generate a response.
So a bigger window means it can handle much longer documents or conversations.
Exactly. 1 million tokens is massive. For comparison, OpenAI's powerful GPT-4o model handles 128,000 tokens. 1 million tokens. That's like feeding it a whole collection of books worth of information at once. It's huge for tasks like summarizing very long reports or maintaining context in a really extended interaction.
Okay, wow. But here's the kicker, according to the report. The cost to train this supposedly powerful model.
Yeah, this is the really eye-popping part. MiniMax claims they trained M1 for only around $534,700.
$534,000. That sounds incredibly low. How does that compare?
Well, estimates for other big models are way higher. DeepSeek R1 was reportedly $5 to $6 million, and models like GPT-4 are estimated to cost well over $100 million to train. So yeah, $500,000 is astonishingly cheap if the performance holds up.
How did they manage that?
They say it's down to a new, super efficient training technique they developed called the CISPO algorithm, plus using a type of model architecture called a mixture of experts, or MOE.
MOE. That's where it uses smaller specialized parts instead of one giant network.
Basically, yeah. It can make training and running the model much more efficient, especially for large models. They also claim M1 is efficient to run, using only about 25% of the computing power of DeepSeek R1 for long outputs.
And are they claiming it performs well?
They are. They state M1 outperforms another model, DeepSeek R1 0528, and also all comparable Chinese closed-source models on complex productivity tasks. They've put out benchmark scores showing strong results in reasoning, coding, and handling that long context information.
And it has other features too, like using tools.
Yes, it has function calling abilities, so it can use external tools or APIs, and the package includes a chatbot API with built-in web search, image and video generation, even text-to-speech and voice cloning capabilities.
Okay, so this M1 model seems like a big deal technically. But again, why should the average person, you listening right now, care about some open source AI model from China?
Because models like this, powerful, efficient, and open, are the engines that will power the AI tools you actually use in the future.
So better AI assistance on your phone, smarter features in your productivity apps, that kind of thing.
Potentially, yes. Because it's open source and claims to be cheap to run, companies might be able to integrate more advanced AI capabilities into their products more easily and affordably.
Imagine an AI that could reliably read and understand that massive PDF report your boss sent you, or help you analyze a huge spreadsheet just by talking to it. That long context window makes things like that more feasible.
Right, and this release just highlights how fast the AI field is moving and that innovation is coming from everywhere globally. Cheaper, more accessible, powerful AI could ultimately lead to better AI experiences for everyone.
And for businesses, the report touches on lower costs, handling big data, customization, lots of potential benefits there too.
Definitely. It raises interesting questions about competition and who leads AI development moving forward.
Okay, let's quickly recap the 3 big stories we connected the dots on today.
First, Adobe is putting serious AI creative power, including partner models, onto your phone with the Firefly app, making content creation easier and more accessible on the go.
Second, it's official. Streaming is now the #1 way Americans watch TV, beating cable and broadcast combined, with older viewers and free ad-supported services playing a surprisingly large role in that shift.
And third, Chinese startup MiniMax dropped a potentially groundbreaking open-source AI model, M1, that boasts a massive context window and claims incredibly low training costs, signaling accelerating efficiency and global competition in AI development.
So here's a thought to chew on as we wrap up. What happens when all these trends really start to merge?
Yeah, think about it. You've got AI models getting cheaper, more powerful, more open, capable of understanding vast amounts of info. At the same time, sophisticated AI creative tools are landing directly in everyone's pocket via their phones.
And all this is happening while our media consumption shifts almost entirely online, dominated by streaming.
How might AI start to shape not just the content we create, but also how we experience entertainment, how we find information, maybe even how our brains process this increasingly digital, AI-infused world?
Definitely something to ponder as technology keeps connecting those dots for us.
That's all the time we have for today.
We are here to help here at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.